Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Jaya Gopiyana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Yamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopiyana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये अष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतस्य वयं भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. Hare Krishna. Today morning we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, chapter entitled Divinity and Divine Service, text number 25. Bhejire munayo athagre Bhagavanta madhokshaja Sattvam vishuddham shrimaya Kalpante yanutan iha Bhejire munayo athagre Bhagavantam adhokshaja Sattvam vishuddham shemaya Kalpante yanutanyah Bhejire munayo athagre Bhagavantam adhokshaja Sattvam vishuddham shemaya Kalpante yanutanyah. Please recite. Note word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Bhejire rendered service unto Munayaha, the sages, Atha, thus, Agre, previously, Bhagavantam, unto the personality of Godhead, Adhokshajam, the transcendence, Sattvam, existence, Vishuddham, above the three modes of nature, Shemaya, to derive the ultimate benefit, Kalpante, deserve, Ye, those, Anu, follow, Tan, those, Iha, in this material world. Translation. Previously, all the great sages rendered service unto the personality of Godhead due to his existence above the three modes of material nature. They worshipped him to become free from material condition and thus derive the ultimate benefit. Whoever follows such great authorities is also eligible for liberation from the material world. Purport. The purpose of performing religion is neither to profit by material gain nor to get the simple knowledge of discerning matter from spirit. The ultimate aim of religious performance is to release oneself from material bondage and regain the life of freedom in the transcendental world, where the personality of Godhead is the Supreme Person. Laws of religion, therefore, are directly enacted by the personality of Godhead, and except for the Mahajans or the authorized agents of the Lord, no one knows the purpose of religion. There are 12 particular agents of the Lord who knows the purpose of religion, and all of them render transcendental service unto Him. Persons who desire their own good may follow these Mahajans and thus attain the supreme benefit. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यं मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललितान् श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनीति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे पाञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So today morning, the verse that we are reading is basically the answer to the questions asked by. बताइए अपने इंग्लिश बुझते हैं? So this is a question that is asked by the sages of Naimisharanya to Suta Goswami, that who is the ultimate worshipable authority. So in answer to that, Suta Goswami is giving this series of verses where Suta Goswami mentioned about the three modes. Like yesterday and day before yesterday, we discussed about the three modes, worship in the three modes of material nature. But now, in this particular verse which we are discussing today, here Srila Sutta Goswami is mentioned that beyond the three modes, great sages has worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So one should worship that Supreme Personality of Godhead to go beyond the three modes for deriving the ultimate benefit. Now, what is this ultimate benefit? If we try to see, the ultimate benefit is going out of material nature, and that is what Srila Prabhupada has indicated in the purport. Like, yes, we can see this, the first two lines. The purpose of performing religion is neither to profit by material gain nor to get the simple knowledge of discerning matter from spirit. So why are we practicing devotional service or transcendental process? It is not to have material gains, but and also not to have just some knowledge of matter and spirit. Of course, that's a byproduct of spiritual knowledge, that we get to understand what is matter and what is spirit. But here Srila Prabhupada is writing that is not the ultimate understanding. So the ultimate aim of religious performance is to release oneself from material bondage and regain the life of freedom in the transcendental world, where the personality of Godhead is the supreme person. बलराम को उनको जाके बोल सकते, वो लोग मंदिर आ सकते दर्शन करने. So this is the ultimate aim. The ultimate aim is to get out of this material bondage and live the life of freedom, right? So life of freedom means life of where we are free from birth, death, old age, and disease. We are free from these four things, and there we are always in the eternal association of Lord, who is Supreme Person. So in spiritual world, we get to see the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His two-handed form or his four-handed form is there. Along with his consort, along with his different activities, one devotee can have the complete understanding of Supreme Personality of Godhead in the spiritual world. So one thing which is very important that we are going to understand here, that it is not by our own understanding, our own concoction, that we can understand Krishna or we can understand Supreme Personality of Godhead or we can go beyond the three modes of material nature, because we have limitation. Just like in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has written that a bird, as per its own strength, can go high above in the sky, right? So a sparrow or a small bird, maybe it can go to a lesser height, but an eagle or these kind of bird, it can go to a great height. But ultimately, that also has got limitations. And ultimately, when Garud flies from the material world to spiritual world or from spiritual world to material world. It can fly like this. But still, Garud also has got his limitation, right? Sometimes the Lord has to go really very fast. So then what Lord does, he does not wait for Garud. He just goes on his way. Like we get to see that when when Gajendra was crying for pain, so then Lord was coming and Lord was constantly asking Garuda to fly faster. And what is the speed of of Garud when he's flying? The speed is that like Garud flies faster than mind. So Lord wants it to be more fast, and so Lord was telling faster, faster. Lord was telling like this. And when Uttara came to pray to Krishna, then Krishna has to enter into the heart of, in the womb of Uttara. And there Krishna just went in a moment. There he did not seek the help of Garuda to fly in that region. So Garud also has got limitation. So when Garud even has got limitation, who is a pure devotee of Lord and is a Prakash of Lord, so how much limitation we can have, we should be very clear about this one, that yes, we are limited. And that is the reason Krishna is telling a very important thing to Arjun in Bhagavad Gita in 4.34 verse, which is very much in correlation to this particular verse which we are discussing today. That tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshina. If we want to know the ultimate truth, then we have to approach a great personality. Tadvidhi pranipatena. We have to come to him with all humility and not with a challenging spirit. With all humility, with seva, pariprashnena sevaya, upadekshanti te jnanam. Then that person will impart this knowledge, and again with all receptivity, one has to get that. So it is with humility and not with audacity that we can get this understanding, right? And in this regard, we can understand if somebody wants to get his disease treated, then he can go to a medicine shop, and the medicine shop has got all the medicines. It has got many medicines, and it can cure all the diseases whichever is available. Even of course is hypothetical. So hypothetically we are accepting the medicine shop has got all the medicines to cure all the diseases. But if the person goes there without a prescription and he just tells that give me that green pill, blue pill, red pill, if he says like this, then his disease won't get cured. It will just be a highly probable business. Like, so the probability, based on probability, maybe his chance of curing the disease will never come. I was hearing that this kind of probability that getting a human form of life or rendering devotional service, how rare it is. So one devotee was telling, it was like very cinematic description he was giving. Suppose a plank of wood is floating on Pacific Ocean with a hole on it, right? And then a tortoise is also floating floating inside the Pacific Ocean. Now the tortoise came out of water and the neck of the turtle came out through this round hole on the plank, right? So how much is the probability of this? It is like very, very less probable. So similarly, getting this human form of life, getting the chance to render devotional service, or even getting our disease cured by just selecting red pill, blue pill, yellow pill in the medicine shop is like that much of low probability. So the process is to go to a doctor, right? And ideally speaking, the doctor will have few qualification. Now, what is the qualification? The doctor is aware of disease and medicines. He knows. He has done that kind of process. I mean, he has done that kind of studies by which he knows diseases and he knows medicine. First, the second thing is he can know the disease just by knowing the symptoms. So this is another level of expertise that he has got. He can know the disease just by knowing the symptom. It's not that he has to go through the disease to know the disease. Just by hearing the symptoms, he can know the disease. And the third thing is he is ready to cure or he is available for cure. So when these three things are there in the doctor, then it is ideal to reach to the doctor, get a prescription, go to the medicine shop, buy the medicines and cure the disease. Similarly, when we are coming to the spiritual teacher or spiritual master or the Mahajan that Sutta Goswami is speaking in this verse and Krishna is speaking to Arjun in Bhagavad Gita. So the devotees, that great Mahajan has also got these qualifications that he knows, the disease and the cure. He knows the nature of this material world. He has got realizations of that and he knows the cure of it. Secondly, he can know the disease just by hearing from a person of who is in conditioned stage. Right? When the disciple approaches the spiritual master or the spiritual teacher with the anartha of the heart, the spiritual teacher understands the situation of the practitioner, the sadhaka, and he can understand the situation of the sadhaka even more than the sadhaka himself. So the sadhaka tells him, no, you are not able to understand me. Hear me first clearly, then you will be able to understand. But now we can see the spiritual teacher, he's like an expert. He's dealing many such cases, so he knows what is what disease. And he is also keen to cure. So when the combination is like this, then one can even do a blind following. Now, why whenever blind following is spoken, everybody becomes very anticipative. That why blind following? Why not always analysis? So when we have to travel, so from one place to another, and there is a very nice highway built, right? So it is not that we stop at every kilometer and ask somebody, is this highway going to that destination? Is this highway going to that destination? You don't have to ask that. The highway is already there. The directions are already mentioned in a board or banner above, and there are people who has reached their destination through this highway only. So I don't have to bother. I can just travels through this highway and make my travel successful. Similarly, when the acharyas have given the process, Krishna has given the process. It is a foolproof process, and Krishna says that previously many has made their life successful. So why are you doubting the process? You should not doubt. You should just go ahead and make your life successful. So if you doubt the process, what happens is we just go through unnecessary delays. And that is what Krishna has spoken in Bhagavad Gita as Bahunam Janmanam Ante. In one lecture which we have heard recently by Srila Prabhupada in temple, Prabhupada was saying that it is unnecessary delay when one just analyzes things. Bahunam Janmanam Ante. Okay, you keep on analyzing things. It will take lifetime after lifetime. But ultimately will come to the position that Jnanavan Mama Prapadyate, that Vasudevam Sarvamiti, that Krishna is everything and Krishna is the result of everything. So this understanding one has to take from the Mahajan, the great personality, the one who has traveled the path and the one who has made their life successful. Right? So this is very important. People who are not following disciplic succession, they are confused. They are confused about who is the supreme personality of Godhead. Like yesterday we were discussing, like for Sattvagun, Vishnu, for Rajogun, Brahma, for Tamogun, Shivji. So they are confused. Who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So those who are in Sattva Gun, they say, okay, Vishnu is Supreme Personality. Those who are in Rajagun, they say, okay, Brahmaji is Supreme Personality. Those who are in Tamogun, they say Shivji is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are confused. But what is the process? The process is to follow Guru Parampara. Now there is Guru Parampara from Brahmaji. If we follow the process, if we follow the Guru Parampara coming from Brahmaji, we'll know who is the Supreme Personality of God. There is Guru Parampara coming from, Shivji. So if we follow the Guru Parampara process, we will know who is Supreme Personality of God. But the point is, we do not want to follow the Guru Parampara process. Rather, we want to exercise our own limited understanding. But when we follow the Guru Parampara process, then what is the result? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita as Iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. They get to know Aham Sarvasya Prabhu. They get to know that Krishna is Sarvasya Prabhu. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then they do not waste time in speculation. The speculation at the beginning, it's good. But ultimately, it's a very tiring process, and it's a process of wasting of time and energy, right? By speculation, one is just simply wasting their time and energy. Rather, one can just follow the process. Iti matva bhajante mam. So we should start worshipping Krishna. Bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. And that way our intelligence will get developed. There is a process of having higher intelligence and sharpening that higher intelligence, right? So if somebody knew, suppose there's an art called calligraphy, writing something in a nice way. So calligraphy, somebody may know calligraphy, but if that person is not regularly practicing calligraphy, then a time will come when the person will forget calligraphy and his hands will shake while doing this calligraphy, right? Similarly, for a surgeon is doing surgery. Maybe for every day he is doing 2-3 surgeries, but say he takes a gap of 2-3-4 years, and then he comes back for surgery. Then naturally he will feel some initial, hesitation. So in that way, we should not waste time. Rather, we should continuously worship Krishna and sharpen our intelligence, so that worshipping Krishna and taking shelter of Krishna becomes our second nature. This is very important. At this moment, our second nature is to go out. Bahirmukh. Bahirmukhta is our second nature. But when we are Buddha Bhava Samanvita and Iti Matva Bhajante Mam, then we are, our second nature is taking shelter of Krishna. Just like we saw this famous video of Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, when in his sleep also he was doing Arti. So worshipping Lord has become the second nature. Every day, wherever he is, whatever is the situation of his health, he is there for worshipping the Lord in the altar. Right? So it becomes the second nature. So then, for that devotee, what happens? Yomam pashyati sarvatra. For that devotee, Krishna is never lost. In everything, that devotee sees Krishna. Sarvam chamai pashyati. Right? And Krishna is also seeing that devotee. Tasyaham na pranashyami sachamena pranashyati. For that devotee, Krishna is not lost, and for Krishna, that devotee is not lost. There is always this connection stays always. This connection is like always continues. This connection continues eternally. So this is a very, very important aspect in the life of devotee, to continue the connection. There is a time when the connection gets built. Everything has got a cycle: creation, maintenance, destruction, right? So similarly, this connection, it is created at some point of time. It gets maintained at some point of time. But if you do not nurture, if you do not cultivate, destruction will also come in this connection. From our side, not from Krishna's side. This is also very important. Because Krishna is absolute and everything from Krishna's side is absolute. But we are limited, we are conditioned, and naturally from our side, things are not natural. Things are like limited as well. So our side, things goes through depreciation. Things fluctuate. Things goes down. So we need to give a constant push so that it stays up. Constant endeavor has to be given, right? So in that way, we can take shelter of many, many personalities in this world. But ultimately, we should know that whatever potency this person has got, that potency is coming through Supreme Personality of God. Suppose we are depending on a particular job. Maybe in this job, like we are anticipating, I'll be very happy. Or maybe if I get that job, I'll be very happy. But ultimately, they are providing you something, and that something which they are providing you, that is a product of their intelligence, and this intelligence is coming from Krishna. Right? Krishna is saying this. Matta smritir gyan apohanam. So Krishna is saying this, I am everything. Tejas tejas vinam aham. Krishna is saying, whenever you see some potency, that potency is coming from me. So we can see the sun. Sun is illuminating everything, but sun has got limitation. Right? Sun is limited, that sun cannot illuminate our heart. Krishna can illuminate our heart. So you can see water. Water can quench our thirst, but water cannot quench our hankering, our thirst for getting happiness in this world. Rather, Krishna's activities can do that. When we hear Krishna's activities, our hearts get quenched, our thirst gets satiated, right? So fire can burn, but fire cannot burn our sinful reactions. But Krishna's name can burn our sinful reactions. So fire has got this potency, water has got this potency, sun has got this potency from Krishna. Air can dry away, right? Air can carry away. But air cannot carry us from material world to spiritual world. But Lord can carry us from material world to spiritual world. When this Kevat was, taking Ramchandra from one side to the other side by crossing Ganges, Ganga. So after crossing Ganga, Ramji wanted to offer something to this Kevat, and Ramji was searching something, but Ramji did not have anything. Ramchandra. So then Sita Maya opened her ring and gave it to Ramchandra, and with just an ishara of eyes, indication of eyes, she said, "You may give this to the Kevat." And then Ramchandra was about to give this to the Kevat, and the Kevat said, "No, no, my dear Lord, please do not give me this, right? Rather, the way I have made you cross the river from one side to another side, I have got you from one side to another side. You also make me cross this material ocean, right, in the time of death, and make me reach to spiritual world." So in that way, air has the potency to carry away things, but it cannot do that. It cannot carry us from this world to spiritual world, but Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's devotees, Krishna's scriptures does have this form. So where from air has got this capacity? Air has got this capacity from Krishna. So knowing this, that Krishna is source of everything, it takes the guidance of devotees. Just like when Yamdutas came to take the soul of Ajamil, and Yamdutas were taking out the soul of Ajamil. The Ajamil shouted Narayan, Narayan, and then this Vishnu Dutas appeared. And Vishnu Dutas said, "No, you cannot take this. You cannot take this person. This person has to stay here only. They are not your candidate. We will take them to spiritual world." Then the the Yamdutas were very shocked. They said, "We have the rule book, we are authorized person, and who are you to stop us?" Right? And the Vishnudutas did not say, "See, our I card is this, we are Vishnudutas, we can stop you." They just spoke with authority. And sometimes you see, people have so much of aura that you can't transgress that person. Right? Sometimes people have these kind of aura. So Vishnudutas had that kind of aura. These Yamdutas were like Tera Mera, they were looking bad, ugly, and fighting, struggling, and speaking something, that too in front of them, seeing their confidence got reduced. But here the Vishnudutas were so beautiful, so powerful, so effulgent, and their voice was so beautiful, and they were speaking with so much of authority that this Yamadutas really became very terrified. And then this Yamadutas came to Yamraj, and they asked him, for the first time in our life, we were stopped by someone. Four-person came, four-handed, and they were saying, "Narayan, Narayan." Who were they? Is there any other person more superior than you? We never knew this. You should have told us this before. And they were like disturbed. And then Yamraj said, "Wait, I am going to tell you." So this time, Yamraj gave them some time. Yamraj discussed some classes with them. Previously, it was only like this: go to this place, take away the soul, give him this punishment like this. It was never a sitting meeting, it was just a flying instruction. But this time, Yamraj made the Yamdutas sit, and he told them about the codes and principles, And then he told them, yes, there is personalities who are superior to me, and I am one of the many. And in that course of discussion, Yamraj spoke about Mahajan and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Yamraj spoke that Mahajans are the step to reach Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in Mahabharata, we get to see this very beautiful shloka which says, Tarke apratishto shutayo bibhinna. That if you start doing argument, there is no end to argument. If we want to know the truth, then argument is not the process. This we have to understand. Tarke apratishto. With tarka, one cannot ascertain. Apratishto. Shrutaya bhivinno. And what will you speak? How many things you are going to speak? How many scriptures are you going to quote? How many speakers you are going to quote? Ishne wo bola, this person have said this, that person have said this scripture says this, that scripture says this. So in this way, if the argument starts, there is no end to argument, right? And these kind of argument ultimately ends with quarrel and fight. It starts with sattvagun, gets dragged down to the lowest form of tamogun. Radhashyam once he was speaking, he was in ISKCON Vrindavan, and there in Bhagavatam class, after the Bhagavatam class, there was a person who asked question to the speaker, and this person was little bit in a challenging mood, right? He was asking question in a challenging way. So the speaker also, he was also in, he came in that spirit. So he also started answering in that way. So there was an argument that started between this devotee and the speaker devotee. So this argument went on, and it went on and on and on, and all the audience, they all left. So there are only three person remained. This two person, one who was the speaker and the other person who was arguing, the audience, they were continuously arguing, and Radhashyam Prabhu was sitting over there because he was following the etiquette of Bhagavatam class. Unless and until the Bhagavatam speaker says Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, you cannot get up. So Prabhuji was sitting in a lachar situation that he cannot do anything, and this two person was like back and forth it was going. So Shrutaya Bhivinno, Nasau Munir Yasya Matam Na Bhinnam. There is no way to come to the ultimate understanding. What is the mat, right? Dharmasya Tattvam Nihita Guhayam. Actually, the Dharma Tattva is in Guha. It is in a Gufa. It's in a cave. And what is the cave? The cave is the heart of pure devotee. Mahajano Yena Gata Sapanta. So then, this Yamraj says to Yamdutas, who are the Mahajan? Swayambhu Narado Kumaro, Swayambhu Narada Shambhu, Kumaro Kapilo Manu, Prahlada Janaka Bhishma, Balir Vyasaki Bhayam. Vyasadeva also says, I am also one of the Mahajan. Right? So sometimes in order to establish or to pacify the subordinates, the superior sometimes has to speak about his position. That's really unfortunate, because if the subordinate had good faith on the superior, then it is not by the positional aspect the superior has to control the subordinate, but by the devotional aspect the superior could have inspired the subordinate. But because of the effect of Kali, Rajogun, Tamogun, the superior has to say, who am I am this, I am that. So it is like Yamraj is also saying, so you are like to Yamdutas, that please listen to me. So when the subordinates compel the superiors to speak his position, then the subordinates are like Yamdutas only. They are compelling the superior to speak his position. And Vyasdev also, Yamraj also is saying this about who he is. So Mahajan has to be followed. So Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Instruction, he says Utsahat Nishchayat Dhairyat, we all know this shloka, Tat Tat Karma Pravartanat, Sango Tyagat, this is very important. Two things has to happen simultaneously. Bad association has to go away, Sango Tyagat, and then Sato Vritti. Then good associations can be taken, right? Because unless and until bad association goes away, till the time our heart is not necessarily purified to take shelter of the superior personality, Sato Vritti cannot happen, right? And what is this Sato Vritti? Sato Vritti means actually the vritti of a sadhu, right? And in text 5 of Upadeshamrit, Rupa Goswami says how to deal with those kind of sadhus. So there's a very famous verse, text 5 of Upadeshamrit, we all know. Maybe you can take out, we can recite this. Krishneti yasya giritam manasendriyeta Dikshasti chit pranatibhishcha bhajante maisham Susrushaya bhajana vigyam ananyamanya Nindadi shunya ridimipshita sangalabha. So yes, so there are different kind of Mahajan, there are different kind of devotees of the Lord. So how to take shelter of them? Rupa Goswami says in gist, Krishneti yasya girita manasendriyeta dikshasti chet pranatavistam bhajante mesham. So a devotee who has just become a devotee, here initiation means he has just started the process of devotional service, and the one who has resolved to follow the process of devotional service. So for somebody obeisance is in mind, so for somebody obeisance is physically. And Susrushaya Bhajana Vigya Mananya Mandam. So that, for that kind of great personalities like Srila Prabhupada or Acharyas and all. So for them, Nindadi Shunnam Ridhimipshita Sangalab, there should be a constant hankering of getting their Sangha. Getting their Sangha does not mean just somehow getting in front of them and getting a photo. Like I sometimes see devotees, they put that in their DP and all. Maybe the spiritual master is looking at some other direction and they just somehow come close to the spiritual master and say somebody else, photo lelo, photo lelo. The photo has been taken. And then they treasure this photo. This is not Sangha. Sangha means, getting their instructions, getting their understanding, getting the knowledge that they are imparting, taking their knowledge, spiritual teachings that they are giving, realization that they are giving, taking it in heart. So in Bhaktya Loka, Bhakti Vinod Thakur speaks about two kind of Mahajan. Two kind of Mahajan. One is ancient Mahajan. They are like pre-Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Mahajan, one who has come before Chaitanya. They are, Bhakti Vinod Thakur is saying they are ancient Mahajan. They are all Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, all like ancient Mahajan. And then the next Mahajan is, modern Mahajans, the one who is post Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one who has come after Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this post Sri Mahajans, post Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Mahajan, they are like more relatable. They are like very close to us. Their instructions are more relatable to us. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur says again, amongst this two kind of Mahajan, there are like pre-ancient Mahajan and modern Mahajan. Among this modern Mahajan, there are again two Mahajans. One is Grihastha Mahajan and one is renunciant Mahajan. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur speaks about their different activities. Like there are different things for Grihastha Mahajans and renunciant Mahajans. Like for Grihastha Mahajan, one very important thing is that they should search a suitable wife to render devotional service. As any just by, okay, the wife is earning a lot, or maybe by marrying that lady, I'll get a lot of property. Not like that. Like one boy, I remember he was telling me, he just opened a engineering firm. He was like a civil engineer. So, and he was asking me that, Prabhu, now I have resolved to get married. I said, okay, you should be careful in searching whom you are going to get married. He said, yes, Prabhuji, I have resolved. Whom should I get married? What conditions she should have? Criteria she should have. Then I asked, okay, what criteria? He said, the most important criteria has to be that she should be an architect. I said, what? He said, yes, architect. Because if I hire an architect for my firm, I have to pay a big salary. But if I get my wife, no salary, but she can be architect, part of the business, earning together, loss also together, right? This one salary portion will be taken care. So not like this, or like sometimes when people get married, they just look for caste, creed, this, that, here, there, so many things. But what is the most important thing that Grihastha Mahajans should look for? That this wife should be supportive in devotional service. Only if this criteria is fulfilled, then no rest of the criteria will automatically be taken care. That person should be the like the the complementary part should be supportive to spiritual life. So this aspect has to be seen. So in that way, many things Bhaktivinoda Thakur says about Grihastha Mahajans, that he should consider his sons and daughters as servant and maid servants of Krishna. He should just maintain the family and neither pamper them nor starve them. Like that means not going in extreme, not making them starve. Oh, we are all Krishna's servant. Just eat salt and rice. And it is like starving them. Or like maintaining them all the time thinking we have to have this bank balance, this furniture, this trip, that trip, this much money here, there, not pampering. Right? So then Bhaktivinoda Thakur speaks many things. And then for renunciant Mahajans, again Bhaktivinoda Thakur speaks many things. So one very important thing that Bhaktivinoda Thakur spoke about Grihastha Mahajan is that the Grihastha Mahajan should have renunciation in the heart. There should be a lot of renunciation in the heart. Within their heart, they should be completely renounced. And externally, they should do loka vyavahar. Externally, they should do whatever is needful. And they should always try to, not try to, they should always serve Krishna with their fullest capacity. And this is the primary aspect of Grihastha Mahajan that Bhaktivinoda Thakur spoke. And then for renunciant Mahajan, again Bhaktivinoda Thakur spoke many things. Sada Krishna Nam Sankirtan, maintain yourself by begging alms. भीख मांग के अपने आप को मेंटेन करो. Always depend on Krishna. Tongue should be controlled. Do not eat always palatable things. Gramya katha na shunive, Grammo varta na kohive. Sometimes Grihastha Mahajan has to do Gramya katha, right, when they are in a war zone. And in that Krishna says, there is one verse in Bhagavad Gita, I think in 16th or 17th chapter, there Krishna says that when you ignite fire, there will be smoke. But intelligence is to have more fire and less smoke. Right? So when somebody is involved in activities of external world, material world, there will be some smoke, but the constant endeavor should be more fire, less smoke. But for brahmachari, renunciant Mahajans, there should be no Gramya Katha. No Gramya Katha should be heard, no Gramya Katha should be spoken, and always 100% focus on Krishna. But then Bhaktivinoda Thakur spoke about certain responsibilities which are irrespective of both the Mahajans, whether they are Grihastha Mahajans or renunciant Mahajans. What is it? Nama Sankirtan. They should always take shelter of the holy names of Krishna and chant the name of Krishna always. They should always immerse themselves in Krishna mantra and not aspire for impersonal Brahma Jyoti. Sometimes devotees who gets very busy in their activities in both the ashram, because both the ashrams are very tiring. So they at times becomes lethargy. Okay, Krishna will know my heart, or yes, there is this thing in my heart I am not able to do, but it's fine even if I do not look after certain details. That is okay, but one should be very conscious that this does not goes into impersonal aspect, because after going into impersonal aspect, supreme personality of Godhead aspect, impersonal aspect, and then material world. And that is the reason you will see in the name of practicality, certain devotees, they are roaming in Durga Puja pandals, right? During Durga Puja. They say, okay, this is practical, Durga Puja is there, we can just roam around in Durga Puja pandal. Or eat in some no onion, no garlic restaurant. Sometimes in Dham that is okay, but certain devotees, certain practitioners, they make it their normal habit of even when they are in some normal places and all, they go to no onion, no garlic restaurant and eat palatable things. So these kind of things should not be done, because ultimately after impersonal aspect comes to material world. And then irrespective of ashram, Mahajans never depend on material possessions. They are not bothered or worried about material possessions. And one very important thing is that the Mahajans, the Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote in Bhaktya Loka, That the Mahajans, they always speak in such a way so that people around them are pacified, they are not agitated. Because if people around them are agitated, then they will also agitate them, right? And then ultimately their life will get agitated. So one has to speak in such a way, one has to deal in such a way so that people around them are pacified, and he is also protective about their spiritual life. And today is disappearance day of one such great Mahajan in ISKCON, that is Jayananda Prabhu. So we'll read little bit about Jayananda Prabhu uh, and end our class. So this is a condolence that was written on June 1st, 1977 in Back to Godhead magazine, right after the passing away of Jayananda Prabhu, right after 1 month of passing away of Jayananda Prabhu. So Jayananda Prabhu passed away on May 1st. So the article goes like this: on May 1st, just 4 days after. Now you have to class. So on May 1st, just 4 days after the 38th birthday, Srila Prabhupada's very dear disciple Jayananda Das passed away in his quarters at Los Angeles Temple Complex, New Dwarka. So Jayananda Prabhu was just 38 years old. So I'm 38 now. So Jayananda Prabhu just passed away after his 38th birthday. For the last few days, his body has been ravaged by leukemia, and recently, huh? Okay. So he had got leukemia. So for the last few months, his body has been ravaged by leukemia, and recently he had abandoned all attempts at recovery and preparing for crucial time of death, moved to New Dwarka to immerse himself in the pure association of Krishna's deity and his devotees. So he gave up. He said, "No, do not spend so much of money in my treatment. Now I'll come back to New Dwarka and I'll be with devotees and serve the deities. In that way, I want to live." Jayananda joined the San Francisco Radhakrishna Temple early 1967, and just after it opened, and less than a year after Srila Prabhupada founded the International Society for Krishna Consciousness in New York City. Though he had both an engineering degree from Ohio State University and a San Francisco State Teachers College degree, Jayananda wasn't supporting himself by driving a taxi cab. He was looking for a way to make life simple. At 28, he became the senior devotee in San Francisco and soon the temple president. So one may question that okay, he could have earned a big amount of money by going to a decent job and support the temple. So at that time, temple needed preaching. So throughout the whole day, he was involved in temple activities. So a good job means the day has to be given to the job, right? So what he used to do, he was utilizing his night. So at night he was driving cab, and then in the day he was taking care of the temple aspects as a temple president. Mukunda Das, who was there at the time, told us about Jayananda's rare qualities. He proved himself to be most responsible and selfless person. You could never detect even the most subtle type of wish to satisfy his personal needs. That is like too much. And we cannot imitate Jayananda Prabhu. One of the thing was that when he was admitted in hospital, the hospital bed was very like very fluffy, thick and comfortable. So one day in the morning when the doctors and the nurse, I think, she came inside, she found that Jayananda Prabhu was not on the bed. He started searching for Jayananda Prabhu. He found Jayananda Prabhu was lying on the floor. And he asked, "Why are you lying on the floor? You should have been on the bed." He said, "No, this nice place is not for me. This is for, floor is for me." And in the bed, the nurse saw that he has kept a photo of Srila Prabhupada with a beautiful garland and flowers. He said, "This beautiful place is for my spiritual master." So we cannot imitate Jayananda Prabhu. Just like Prabhupada said for the Goswamis, if you try to imitate the six Goswamis, you will die. Similarly for Jayananda Prabhu, if you try to imitate Jayananda Prabhu, you will go to some other planets, right? So there was not even a subtle desire to go satisfy his personal wish. He had the unique attribute: whatever needed to be done, he would do. This is very important. Whatever needed to be done, he would do. He was driving his taxi cab 15 hours a day or more to get overtime to pay the temple's rent and various other expenses. He was looking after 15 or 20 new brahmacharis. Right? He was looking after that. So that was dedication. Giving whatever is earning, completely giving for temple. Over the years, Jayananda took special interest in annual Rath Yatra festival. He would plan the festival, build the carts, cook and distribute the prasad, spiritual food offered in love to Lord Krishna. During his last days, he was always planning how to expand Rath Yatra so that more temples could participate. Incapacitated as he was, he still helped design the special carts now being built in Los Angeles, which can be disassembled for easy transportation from city to city. Like different cities will have Rath Yatra, so he made such a cart that Rath Yatra happened, this can be disassembled and this can be sent to other city and again reassembled, and there the Rath Yatra would happen and it will go to another temple like that. Back in 1967, Jayananda gave Srila Prabhupada his life saving of $5,000. And then again, life saving. माने जो कुछ saving है आप पूरा दे देते हो. It's big thing. With his last letter to Srila Prabhupada, Jayananda enclosed a second gift of $5,000 money that he had been earmarked for medical expenses. So $5,000 was given to him for his expenses. That also he gave to Srila Prabhupada. He started with $5,000, ended with $5,000. Same kind of dedication, right? And Jayananda was so anxious to serve Srila Prabhupada that he even gave up the desire to go back to spiritual world. When I leave my body, he said near the end, I want very much to come back to continue serving Srila Prabhupada in this world. These are the sentiments of Krishna's most exalted devotees, Vaishnavas, of whom Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, our great great grand spiritual master, once wrote. He reasons ill who says that Vaishnavas die. When thou art living still in sound, the Vaishnavas die to live, and living try to spread the holy name around. The following letter dated May 5. So Jayananda Prabhu passed away on 1st May. Prabhupada wrote a letter on 5th May. Arrived from Srila Prabhupada just after we went to press. Prabhupada wrote, My dear Jayananda, please accept my blessings. So Prabhupada passed away on 14th November 1977. Jayananda Prabhu passed away on 1st May 1977, just before Prabhupada's passing away. Prabhupada is writing, I am feeling very intensely your separation. In 1967, you joined me in San Francisco. You were driving my car and chanting Hare Krishna. You were the first man to give some contribution, $5,000 for printing my Bhagavad Gita. After that, you have rendered very favorable service to Krishna in different ways. I so hope at the time of your death, you were remembering Krishna, and as such, you have been promoted to the eternal association of Krishna. If not, if you would had any tinge of material desire, you have gone to celestial kingdom to live with the demigod for many thousands of years and enjoy the most opulent life of material existence. From there, you can promote yourself to the spiritual world. But even if one fails to promote himself to the spiritual world, at that time he comes down again to the surface of the globe and takes birth in a big family like a yogis or a brahmanas or an aristocratic family where there is again chance of reviving Krishna consciousness. But as you were hearing Krishna Kirtan, I am sure that you were directly promoted to Krishna Loka. Janma karma chame divyam evam yogeti tatvata tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti swarjuna. Krishna has done a great favor to you, not to continue your diseased body, and has given you a suitable place for your service. Thank you very much. Your ever well-wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. So this is Prabhupada's letter for Jayananda Prabhu. Srila Jayananda Prabhu ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. So can we sing Jnanilo Premadhana prayers for just 2 minutes for Jayananda Prabhu? Jnanilo Premadhana Karuna Pracho anilo premadhana Corona je anilo premadhana Corona prachur je anilo Ano Prabhu kotha gela Acharya Thakur Kaha moro sarupa rupa Kaha sanata Kaha dasha raghunatha Patita Kamara Bhatta Juga Kaha Kovira Ako pale kotha gela Gora notara Pashane kutibo matha Onale poshibo Oranga gonera nidhi Otha gele pabo Sheshab Shongiro Shonge Je Koilo Bila Sheshango na paya kande Narottama Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Patita Pavana Vaishnava Thakur. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Srila Prabhupada ki, Shavaita Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki, Srila Jayananda Prabhu, Tevabhakti Mahamahosam ki. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.